Outspoken, captivating, gracious, and warm-hearted are words that can be used to describe world-renowned businesswoman and television personality Eden Sassoon. As the daughter of philanthropist and British businessman Vidal Sassoon, Eden was born into the spotlight, growing up in the hair industry's most iconic family. Influenced by the impact her father left on the industry, Eden has blazed her own trail in the beauty world with various business endeavors and charity work. Recovery Magazine host Sherry Gaba sat down with Eden to talk about life and sobriety.
Eden, you are so many things. You're a celebrity, you're the daughter of an icon, you're a Pilates studio owner, and you probably do many other things that you're going to tell me all about. Why take the time today to do an interview about recovery?
Well, you said you're a celebrity, and that word to me is a very touchy word because I think that considering how I was raised with the man I was raised by, celebrities, or if you have a platform with a certain amount of people that really watch and want to learn from you,
You're
it's
like
a
tribe.
responsibility. Exactly, your tribe, my new tattoo.
Yeah.
It's a responsibility and an honor to be in that position. And if I don't use that, then I feel like I'm just taking up wasted space, you know? When you asked for me to come here and share, even what just went on in the last season of Housewives, the people that I touched, the messages that I got, the lives that I honestly, truly changed, and people that I still talk to, that's what life is about. At the end of the day, I get to, you know, if and when I have my bad days or I'm not feeling well, if I can get into my gratitude list or try to stay there, that's all that really matters.
So was this spiritual side and this service side something that sort of evolved, or have you always sort of been what I would call maybe an empath, someone very sensitive to others, sensitive to helping others and so forth?
I was truly born that way. As a child, I grew up always loving the kids, everyone around me, and I was the popular girl in school. But yet, it was always the quiet, shy people. And I was actually shy and quiet, but I had this energy. But I would find, and I just loved everyone, and I would do what I could. And I remember Rosa was a dear friend, and her mom was a housekeeper, and she would always bring me sandwiches to school, and we just had this bond, and I'd bring her to my house because we were no different.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And to me, I've always just wanted to give and love and share and be whatever I can.
So it wasn't really that you grew up with any kind of trauma. Would you say it was sort of the opposite?
No. I did grow up with a lot of emotional.
You did.
I feel like I was born with a broken heart, and until I got sober, I could really. That's what Eden's love story is about. Until I found sobriety, I could really learn to love myself and then know my worth and realize that someone else I could let in and am capable of.
Well, I wonder, you know, your dad was, Vidal Sassoon was building an empire, so he might have not been available emotionally, maybe not physically.
He did the best he could, and when he was physically there, he tried to give us all of his attention, and then 100% emotionally, it was really hard for him. And he was married to an alcoholic himself. My mother's recovering alcoholic.
And so how old were you when your mom got sober?
Well, she was drinking pretty much my whole life until I was 15. She got sober for the first time.
So that is trauma because they were unavailable to a certain extent. I'm sure they did the best they could.
I was very much alone. I cried myself to sleep pretty much every night as a child.
I always find it very interesting. You go into a room of 12-step meetings and they'll say, "Oh, women don't like women." You know, I mean, suddenly they do love women.
But
funny. I always think
I used to say that.
all women do, right? And I think there's this relationship between this motherhood, abandonment. You know, I have a similar story. I'm in a different program, but there's this missing mother piece. And I'm wondering, maybe you can speak to that, and then how have you changed that with your own children?
It's interesting because it's definitely, I'm definitely a daddy's girl. And I think it's because and I'll go back to the mother, to my mom, we want and crave that love and attention from daddy, from the man, from the opposite sex. You know, we're all energy and we're all made up of different hormones, and you know, as a female, you want that love from a man.
Yeah.
So when the mother sort of abandons you and checks out, it hurts. And so I never received that from my mother as a child. I have it very, very much now. We have that.
Wonderful.
But as a child, I had a nanny, and thank God for her, because my sister overdosed.
How many years ago was that?
Oh, in 2002.
Uh-huh.
So 15.
Yeah.
And she wasn't able to receive that love she needed from any one specific human. She looked at it from the world, and being a young actress in Hollywood, she self-sabotaged herself all the time, and in the end of the day couldn't find.
That's a huge word. I really love that word, receive, because there is something about an addict alcoholic that there's so much shame involved when they look at their wreckage, and it's like they can't receive sometimes the good.
And you know, I've never, by the grace of God, I didn't have shame. I always live in my truth. I always said, someone's like, did you know what you did last night? I'm like, yeah, and? That's part of who I am. That was part of my journey.
Part of your canvas.
And being an alcoholic and all the things I did was part of the beauty of me being right here, right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, you know, thank God that that nothing tragic happened, and you know, no one.
Was there a bottom? I hate that word bottom, proverbial bottom, and sometimes with people that are celebrities or have privilege, it takes a while to get to that bottom, right? Because you have people that are yesing you and.
Yeah, and I never really fall into that. I'm pretty much a real solid individual, even as in my days of drinking.
Okay.
But being daddy's girl, and I was in a relationship with a gentleman who was 15 years younger than me. My father died, and that turned my whole world around. And 2 weeks later, this young boy left. And at that point,
he broke up with you around the time your
2
dad
weeks
passed
after
away?
my
Oh,
dad
yeah.
died.
Multiple losses.
I could not understand. And growing up, you know, having mommy issues and abandonment from that, I really just, I almost was numb to everything. But I knew that I could find this within me. And I had 2 children, and I had another business that I was just opening. And the chaos started to become unmanageable.
You were overwhelmed.
Yes. I think at times I still am overwhelmed. It's just the way that I handle it.
It's about, you know, how does an elephant eat one bite at a time? So, you know, right? So how
That's fine. I take 10 bites at a time.
So how have you learned to kind of, you know, slow down, so to speak? How have you, or have you not?
So that's interesting. I thought, and still do, well, I'm learning that I haven't really, but I jump in, and I jump in full force, and I'm handling Pilates, and I'm trying to handle the salon, and yet maybe pushing it under the rug, and I'm handling being single and wanting the love from a man, because that's all I've ever wanted my whole life. And I have these 2 kids that I haven't told you how to be a mother. I'm just me.
Is the dad involved in your life?
Yes, he's one. So he is one of the pretty much 2 men I have in my life that I love and respect and honor.
Okay.
He's one of my best friends.
Great. That's wonderful, especially for your kids, because you know, in divorce, you don't want to be like.
No, we travel together. He's remarried. They have a child. We're very much family. Tonight's my daughter's birthday. We're all going to dinner together.
Dan, were your parents divorced?
Yes.
Okay.
So I recreated my past, my childhood. They got divorced at 7, and so
when you were 7 years old.
Yes.
Okay.
I pretty much did what my mother and father did in good and bad ways, because I am now building the Eden by Eden Sassoon sort of empire in itself.
Your own platform.
Yes, and what that looks like to live in health and beauty and sobriety. So through, you know, the struggles, and how do you come out on the other side? And so I chose sort of, it's a constant search. Even now, yesterday, you know, I did something where you get to kind of scan your body and see where you're at, and some of the things this doctor said was shocking to me, shocking. And yet deep down I knew, you know, it brings me to tears, because he talked about depression, and I said, God, I fought so hard to get through that, and I still am on a small amount of Lexapro, and it still just lives with me. So what am I not doing? And yet I search daily, and whether it's through exercise, and that's an ism for me too. I am definitely, need to, that's, whew, no balance there. Yeah. And I used to beat myself up, where now I'm, okay, take time, because your body needs it.
How about a compassionate heart? Are you able to give yourself that love and compassion that I can clearly see you give others? Like you walk, I mean, you're such a giving person. Like from the first email, I just knew I even said to our producer here, I said, this is a loving person. I mean, I'm getting like chills. Like you are just, I can tell you're generous of spirit. But my question to you, Eden, is do you give that to yourself? That compassion and love?
Not as much as I do to others. And I'm learning more so in my sober years and today what that looks like, because if I can't give that to myself again, I won't ever allow someone to be able to give that to me.
Receive, back to that word receive. So it's about attracting that which you are.
Yeah, because I'm constantly just giving out and giving out and giving out, so I have no space to let someone really in because of the fear of abandonment and loss. And I used to never want to love my father as much as I could because I know that one day he'd be gone.
Oh God, we're soul sisters in that. I adored my dad.
Right.
My dad was, a mini entrepreneur, I guess.
Oh,
but he was bigger than life to me. And it's interesting. I don't know how your dad died, but
leukemia.
Okay, yeah, mine had bladder cancer, but it was really like amazing. And you have to tell me about that journey, because when he finally was able to let go, here's this man that was really strong and controlling, right? And then they're on morphine because they're getting comfort care and so forth. Isn't it amazing to watch someone that big just go?
Yeah, and you know what? Through his journey, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's not about me, guys.
No,
but I felt this connection there.
This is about us.
Yeah.
Through his journey of his 10 years of leukemia, he didn't tell me till the 3rd year, and then he made some really remarkable movements in my life without really telling me that he was on the path of death, or letting go, or going to the next stage, whatever we call it. I watched him die with such grace and integrity and joy and peace.
Isn't that the greatest memory ever?
Holy, I mean,
not the dying, but in a way the dying, because I was a hospice social worker, so to me, it's so like you're going to a much.
Been around,
To me, it's just the most beautiful thing ever, but not everybody feels that way.
No, I'm with you. When those moments of, I wasn't there when I was on his way to his house when he passed, but I can
You
only
weren't supposed
imagine.
to be there.
That's it. He didn't want me to see that.
No.
And then when I got, I cleaned him up, but he wouldn't want me to see that. And he's always with me. And the signs that come to me, and
you are clearly him. Like you definitely are. I can see this creativity. Like you probably have a million ideas every day. Am I right? I mean, I can just see that.
You have no idea. That's what the doctor's like. You have to stop. Your brain, it's almost uncontrollable. You have to stop. I'm like, I can't. So I have to find that balance.
Yeah.
But
Slow
he
down.
taught me so much. Yes, and everyone's like, just breathe. And I feel like I am in that state of calm, but yet there's just this force that drives me.
Well, I think addicts and alcoholics are some of the most creative, soulful, brilliant.
Yeah, and he was an addict to his work. He was a slave to the not a slave in a bad sense of the words, but workaholic and to his body. And if his body wasn't strong, his mind wasn't strong. And if his mind wasn't strong, he couldn't produce the creative, or get involved in all the things.
So he could be channeling through you some of these great ideas that you have.
Yeah, people, I've worked with a lot of different people, and he's always with me. Always, always, always with me.
So what would you tell someone struggling out there that,
the first thing I say, because in doing the show this last season, and that was a struggle, it brought up my sister, it brought me face to face with what maybe some things I didn't deal with, it brought me face to face with 2 sisters that were going through the same thing that I went through, and no one was really seeing me for me. And when a lot of people would reach out and talk to me, and the first thing I would sort of say is kind of gauge where they're at, or parents would reach out and about their kids and what to do.
So you were very transparent about your journey on the show. Okay.
Yes. Even more so than what they showed. But
that's always that way.
Yeah. It's great because it leaves room for what's next.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Yeah. People come and ask, and I would make sure to just say you're not alone. And that I had to be, and sort of I come through once I say you're not alone, because that's a fear for us. You feel all alone in this, and we're not. at all. There's so many.
And there's so much great support out there, and there's so many paths like you and I were talking about. And so what was your path?
So I woke up December 5th, 2012, 2014? My sister, God, between the deaths and the dates and this, it's almost December, it'll be 5 years.
So it would be 12.
12, thank you. Yeah, and my dad died 12. Yes, 2012. And I woke up on the edge of my bed, thank God I was clothed. The nice, my Pache car, David drove me home, walked down the hill, made sure I got home safe, put me in my bed. And I woke up and I heard my dad's voice. And I heard what I call God, Jesus. And they were together. I actually saw them, visualized them. And I saw, to me, my dad always had these stories as a kid, Jehoshaphat, who walked through the deserts in Israel, and he had his sandals, like kind of like Birkenstocks. And I saw, that God and Jesus was in his robe and just very peaceful in his hair, and was like just kind of there. And my dad was talking to me, and like I heard his voice, and and I knew that I couldn't go another day. And then it was done, and I was at my bottom, and I just, and I had my mountain at the time. My hike was my release, and all I could do was just cry and get to the mountain, and I had no control over really what I was doing. I got in my car and drove to my hike and the tears were coming, and it was an out-of-body experience. Reality.
Reality. Okay, wow.
And I got to the mountain, and I had a little obsession with Nikes, and so my shoes were always a different color, and it related to an emotion or expression that I was trying to give at the time. But we alcoholics have a hard time expressing ourselves when you're in that place. And I came across a woman who changed my life forever on that mountain. And I walked by her. She saw my shoes, and she said, "I love your shoes, great color." And I was like, she noticed. I was going through all this stuff, and the signs were coming, and it was overwhelming to me, and I was walking faster than her. She's well older than me, and that connection was there. So I walked down, I came back up, she's still walking, and I slowed down as I got to her. And I said, "Hi," and she's like, "Hi, how are you?" And I'm like, what do you do? We just started this conversation, and all of a sudden she said, "I have body dysmorphia."
Wow.
And I said, I do too. Because I can never be good enough, never be skinny enough, never be strong, fit, always trying to do more. And she said, "No, I feel like you need an AA meeting." And I was like,
oh my God, that's amazing, Eden.
How does she know this?
Wow, that was an angel.
Till this day. And we have many things that have happened between then and the last 4.5 years on the mountain too.
Wow, wow.
And so I took that and I walked and I came down and I was like, then the back of my mind said, 5 o'clock's coming. I'll release this pain and this angst I'm going through when I get that glass of wine.
Yeah.
Went to the country store, ran into one of my oldest friends. Literally. And I looked at him and I said, "Nick, I'm ready. Can you take me now?"
Oh, he's in the program. Wow. So he showed up. It is amazing how they show up when
Bam. And if you're not
ready.
open or listening or watching or waiting for it, you might just miss it.
And that was the last time you
ready.
You
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
The first phone call I made was to Tomer, my ex-husband.
So what I'm hearing is it wasn't this huge bottom, and that's important for people to hear. That doesn't have to be this like huge bottom.
No, it wasn't me getting in a car accident, going to jail. It wasn't my kids being taken away. It wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't at that point yet. It was enough to lose my father and my relationship and the pain that I was in to know that I could never get to where I want to be, which is the path I'm on now, if I continued that.
So what's changed in your life?
Everything.
Everything.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I still suffer with this underlying sort of not good enough if I'm not pushing or trying hard enough, if I'm not exercising. I still have I'm just learning now to let someone in or people in to love me, to know that I'm worthy and to know that I can have the male-female thing is really hard for me.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. and I'm honest and I'm open and I'm in this real connection. And sometimes I do turn it off or I get numb and I'm like, ooh, don't go there. Come right back.
Well, what you're doing is you're probably disassociating somewhat,
100%.
which is what we do when we grow up and people aren't available to us. We need to hide somewhere. We need to have that's our go-to.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so your go-to is to go, woo.
And the difference is now where then it lasted a long time, each situation, and or I would drink through it.
Yes.
Now it comes up and I'm like,
It's like, there I go again.
Yep.
Okay,
Come right back.
Come right back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then whoever it is that I'm engaging with, if they're starting to check out, no.
Right.
We either do this or guess what? You're not accepted into my life.
And you can really see when other people are checking out when you've been there. Like
100%.
you just get it, you know. I'm a
100%.
trauma survivor too, and so I totally get it.
Right.
I
It's
know.
just that like, oof.
Right.
Like, I
right.
gotta get out of here.
Right. It's really interesting because you're talking to people, but you're really not talking
Yeah.
to them. You're just like somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's so great to just be here right now. And that's the beauty of, I think, recovery, is it's the path of being here right now, which is where
Completely.
all the power exists.
And that's interesting you say that because 100%, because we were talking about my podcast and the original title was Here and Now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what life is about, being here and now. And it's like that, like that, like that, like that. And
It is like that, like that,
exactly.
for
And
sure.
and it's hard for people to grasp that. And it took me obviously, a long time, and I was always searching for it. And it's really that fast. I mean, you know it. But for some people, they just sort of, and the tape recorder thing just drives me insane. So that's something also that I talk to people. It's like, come here.
The ruminations,
yes,
the thoughts.
Yes, and
yeah.
of the past, and I did it for years, and really, oh my God, you just live in this pain that doesn't even exist right here, right now.
Right. Well, that's your default. That's your go-to.
Whew,
And
I not
don't
mine
have to
anymore.
go there, but and you don't have to go there anymore.
No.
But you know what? Even if you do go there, it's like you can make friends with it.
Yes,
Instead
I
of
do.
like fighting it, like, oh, there you are again.
Because then you're fighting that elephant in the room that you're just like, hey, okay, you know what? I'm going to bring you here. And
well,
I'm
it's not
gonna,
accepting all of you. Like,
Right.
it's okay to have all these disintegrated parts, and integrating them into
together
who you are.
and
like,
love that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love all of you.
Right.
Even those little depression darknesses
Yeah.
or those disassociations or whatever, just like, oh, that's just part of the
Part of-
canvas.
yeah.
That's what makes you you, Eden. That's why you are the sweet person that you are, the sensitive person, the soulful person, the entrepreneurial person. That's all of you.
It's, yeah.
You couldn't be all those things if you didn't have all those things,
No.
right? I feel like I'm doing a therapy
No,
session.
no, please. That's what I like. That's how I
That's what
feel
happens
like
when you're a therapist and a host.
That's how I feel when I'm doing things. I'm like, how did I become a therapist? Do I have it across my? But people
Right.
open. But that's the beauty of life, and that's who
Yeah,
I am, and
yeah.
that's what I never ever want to change. And I appreciate you for you.
Aw.
I mean, I would thank God that I get to sit here and spend this time with you.
So let's say we're looking, we'll forget about the past for a minute. Now we're going to look at Eden 3 years from now. There's your future Eden. So what do you want to say to Eden in the future that you know now? Or what would you like that Eden to know?
Oh, I mean, she's capable of anything. She is capable of, one, just being present for people and others and for herself. She's capable of building and creating powerful things that people can't even conceptualize yet. She's a woman that can tap into a deeper place that people are scared or uncomfortable of. She wants to awaken, awaken the beast, within people and get them to realize their potential. And these are all things my dad did to me,
Oh.
which is very interesting. And I never looked at it like that.
So he was a sensitive soul too.
Oh yeah.
Well, he had to have been to be that creative, right?
I would
He had to-
imagine.
right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, and considering he was completely abandoned as a child, and
Oh, he was too.
Yeah.
God, it really repeated itself
Yeah.
in your family.
there's a lot of work I do with healers, with one in particular, and we go back to the women's side and the men's side, and you never really think about going back that far in your lineage.
Oh no, we are definitely, our DNA from
Right.
the past affects us
And we
now.
don't think about it. So she took me back through all these women, and I'm thinking, okay, I am who I am, and I can get to my mother, and I can get to maybe my grandmother, and it stops there, my grandmothers. And then I'm like, wait, what about the women before that?
Right.
What did they go through, and the time they lived in, and the power they had to have, or keep the families? And I know nothing really about what really went on, and you kind of have to tap into it and feel it for a minute.
Is it like a
and
shaman, or is it?
she holds the space for other healers to come in, whether they're dead or alive, and not living or alive. And she does a lot of energy work, shaman work, and drum work, and just physically getting out of me, and I tend to hold a lot of pain within my gut and my heart.
That's
chakra.
where that's actually where our serotonin is in our gut. So that makes a lot of sense, right? But yeah, I do believe in that ancestral DNA that just keeps carrying, and and we can
until we can
change
break it.
And you are breaking it. You're sober, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I bet there were probably other women besides your mother that probably were not in recovery.
Yeah, well, my dad's side had it too. So
you were really like kind of
got it. Yeah, well, my sister got it, I got it.
But
my
not
brother
really.
chooses to. Yeah, I just got I got the message of, you know what, you can do this. This isn't really who you are.
Well, don't you now kind of see it as a gift? Really? I mean, that's
100%. I live a sober life with like, I scream it to the world. Yeah, I'm effing sober.
I mean, it's a
and guess
blessing.
what? Yeah, and I share it on a day-to-day basis, you know, with who I can. And those that don't want to listen, you know what? If they have a problem at some point, the more consistent we are as sober women or people who are on a certain side of it and share that with others, they'll get that message if they need it. They'll get it when they're ready,
That's
obviously.
why you're here today. We need people to inspire others. Instead of the stories that we see in the media all the time about the deaths and the OD, you know, that's so sensational.
You know,
we need that. We need the hope. But hope is not sexy. To me,
I'm
it's
pretty
sexy.
sexy.
You go, girl. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it really is. This is really
I
where
think
it's at.
I'm with you. It's sexy. Hope is sexy. When I was down and out that day, December 5th, and I was torn apart and my heart was broken and stepped on and smashed, that was sexy because I was going to pick myself up and I was going to walk and keep walking and walk and walk, and other people come into my life as living angels that guided me and gave me strength. And I get to do the same for others on a daily basis. And that is so sexy.
100%.
Yeah.
So what might you say to a family member that, you know, because a lot of our audience is family too.
You know, having been on both sides.
That's true. There's actually a book out now. I can't think of the name, but it's about a sibling story. There isn't a lot of talk about siblings. Yeah, and a daughter. Right. That's right.
It's
you earn a lot of seats at a lot of meetings.
Yeah. It's rough. I get it. But you know, if you can be here and now and be present and know, one takeaway, this isn't about you. This isn't your fault. This isn't your problem.
Right.
It feels like it is, and it hurts, and you can struggle with them if you choose to. But at some point, to step into your own power and sort of let that go and let them know that you are unconditionally there, or tough love can work too. It's hard because I've had to do it all, and I still am in that situation with a brother of mine.
Oh.
And it's about tough love right now. And it's a fine line to where I actually go numb and cut off and go back to that place that we talked about.
Yeah.
Or can stay within my physical body and deal with it emotionally because it's a lot.
I see a lot of pain when you
it's a
talk.
lot.
How old is he?
He's adopted, and he's 11 months older than me.
And he just can't get it, huh?
And he, through it all, and being adopted and being half black and not knowing his parents and he was 350 pounds and he got the gastric bypass. And instead of looking at his life as a gift being more, you know, brought into my father's family, our family, he took it as more like, why me? And why now I have to be perfect? And why I have to lose this weight? And why my dad was willing to give him the world?
Well, it's his disease talking.
He's lost it all. Everything.
He lost everything.
Everything. And this last chance, my mom and I and my brother came together because all he would do is come to me because I'm there for him.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm not going to do this alone this time.
Yeah.
You need to reach out to your mother and your brother, and you need to put it all on the line and let them forgive you and say, I need help. And so we went through the process for about a week, and that week turned into he was gone.
So what we do is we just say that he has his higher power, his own higher power. He has his own path.
Yeah.
He does, but it hurts.
Yeah.
It's very painful.
And you know, that's part of growth and part of going through becoming stronger as well. You know, through the suffering, through the pain, I find more beauty and more intention and more drive and more of this.
It probably makes you want to do more for this community because of your own personal and family experiences.
Yeah,
right.
Completely.
Well, I am so grateful that you did this today. Eden.
I will come back and be here with you, for you. If you ever need, if you're out of I will do whatever it is that you need, and hopefully ask for others to do the same for you.
Thank you. I love doing hugs, so I'll give you a hug here.
Thank you.